worthy of thy response, and bring together the blessings of every one of the kinds of thy creatures, which thou hast sown and authored. 55 My Lord, bless Muhammad and his household, with a blessing which will encompass every blessing, bygone and new. Bless him and his household, with a blessing which is pleasing to thee, and every one below thee, and will bring forth with all that a blessing, with which thou wilt multiply those blessings, and increase them through the recurrence of days, with an increasing in multiples which none can count but thou. 56 My Lord, bless the best of his household, those whom thou hast chosen for thy command, appointed the treasurers of thy knowledge, the guardians of thy religion, thy vicegerents in thy earth, and thy arguments against thy servants, purified from uncleanness and defilement, through a purification by thy desire. 18. And made the mediation to thee. 19. And the road to thy garden. 57 My Lord, bless Muhammad and his household, with a blessing which makes plentiful thy gifts and generosity, perfects for them thy bestowals and awards, and fills out their share of thy kindly acts and benefits. 58 My Lord, bless him and his household, with a blessing whose first has no term, whose term has no limit, and whose last has no utmost end. 59 My Lord, bless them too, the weight of thy throne and all below it, the amount that fills the heavens and all above them, the number of thy earths and all below and between them, a blessing that will bring them near to thee in proximity, please thee and them, and be joined to its likes forever. 60 O God, surely thou hast confirmed thy religion in all times, with an imam whom thou hast set up, as a guidepost to thy servants, and a lighthouse in thy lands. After his cord has been joined to thy cord, thou hast appointed him the means to thy good pleasure, made obeying him obligatory, cautioned against disobeying him, and commanded, following his commands, abandoning his prohibitions, and that no forward goer go ahead of him, or back keeper keep back from him. 20. So he is the preservation of the shelter seekers, the cave of the faithful, the handhold of the adherents, and the radiance of the worlds. 61 O God, so inspire thy guardian. 21 To give thanks, for that in which thou hast favored him. Inspire us with the light concerning him. Grant him an authority from thee to help him. 22. Open for him an easy opening. 23. Aid him with thy mightiest pillar. Brace up his back. 24. Strengthen his arm. 25. Guard him with thy eye, defend him with thy safeguarding, help him with thy angels, and assist him with thy most victorious troops. 26. 62 Through him, establish thy book, thy bounds, thy laws, and the norms of thy messengers Sunnah. Thy blessings, O God, be upon him and his household. Bring to life the guideposts of thy religion, deadened by the wrongdoers. Burnish the rust of injustice from thy way. Sift the adversity from thy road. Eliminate those who deviate from thy path, and erase those who seek crookedness in thy straightness. 63 Make his side mild toward thy friends. Stretch forth his hand over thy enemies. Give us his clemency, his mercy, his tenderness, his sympathy, and make us his hearers and obeyers, strivers toward his good pleasure, assistants in helping him and defending him, and brought near through that to thee, and thy messenger. Thy blessings, O God, be upon him and his household. 64 O God, and bless the friends of the imams, the confessors of their station, the keepers to their course, the pursuers of their tracks, the clingers to their handhold, the adherents to their guardianship. 27. The followers of their imamate, the submitters to their command, the strivers to obey them, the awhiters of their days, the directors of their eyes toward them, with blessings blessed, pure, growing, fresh, and fragrant. 65 Give them and their spirits peace. Bring together their affair in reverential fear. Set right their situations. Turn toward them. Surely thou art ever turning, all-compassionate. 28. And the best of forgivers. And place us with them in the abode of peace. 29. Through thy mercy, O most merciful of the merciful. 66 O God, this is the day of Arafah, a day which thou hast made noble, given honor, and magnified. Within it thou hast spread thy mercy, showed kindness through thy pardon, and made plentiful thy giving, and by it thou hast been bounteous toward thy servants. 67 I am thy servant whom thou favored before creating him. And after creating him, thou madest him one of those whom thou guided to thy religion, gavest success in fulfilling thy right, preserved through thy cord, included within thy party, and directed aright to befriend thy friends, and show enmity to thine enemies. 68 Then thou commanded him, but he did not follow thy commands. Thou restricted him, but he did not heed thy restrictions. Thou prohibited him from disobedience toward thee, but he broke thy command by doing what thou hadst prohibited, not in contention with thee, nor to display pride toward thee. On the contrary, his caprice 30 called him to that which thou hadst set apart and cautioned against, and he was helped in that by thy enemy and his enemy. So he went ahead with it knowing thy threat, hoping for thy pardon, and relying upon thy forbearance, though he was the most obligated of thy servants, given thy kindness toward him not to do so. 69 Here I am, then, before thee, despised, lowly, humble, abject, fearful, confessing the dreadful sins with which I am burdened, and the great offenses that I have committed, seeking sanctuary in thy forgiveness, asking shelter in thy mercy, and certain that no sanctuary giver will give me sanctuary from thee, and no withholder will hold me back from thee. 70 So act kindly toward me, just as thou actest kindly, by thy shielding him who commits sins. Be munificent toward me, just as thou art munificent, by pardoning him who throws himself before thee, and show kindness to me, just as it is nothing great for thee to show kindness, by forgiving him who expectantly hopes in thee. 71 Appoint for me in this day an allotment, through which I may attain a share of thy good pleasure, and send me not back destitute of that with which thy worshippers return from among thy servants. 72 Though I have not forwarded the righteous deeds which they have forwarded, I have forwarded the profession of thy unity, and the negation from thee of opposites, rivals, and likenesses. I have come to thee by the gateways, by which thou hast commanded that people come, and I have sought nearness to thee, through that without seeking nearness through which none gains nearness to thee. 73 Then I followed all this with repeated turning toward thee, lowliness and abasement before thee, good opinion of thee, and trust in what is with thee, and to that I coupled hope in thee. Since the one who hopes in thee is seldom disappointed. 74 I ask thee with the asking of one vile, lowly, pitiful, poor, fearful, seeking sanctuary, all that in fear and pleading, seeking refuge and asking shelter, not presumptuous through the pride of the proud, nor exalting myself with the boldness of the obedient, nor presumptuous of the intercession of the interceders. 75 For I am still the least of the least, and the lowliest of the lowly, like a dust mote or less. O he who does not hurry the evildoers, nor restrain those living in ease. 31 O he who shows kindness through releasing the stumblers, and gratuitous bounty through respiting the offenders. 76 I am the evildoer, the confessor, the offender, the stumbler. 77 I am he who was audacious toward thee as one insolent. 78 I am he who disobeyed thee with forethought. 79 I am he who hid myself from thy servants, and blatantly showed myself to thee. 32 80 I am he who was awed by thy servants, and felt secure from thee. 81 I am he who dreaded not thy penalty, and feared not thy severity. 82 I am the offender against himself. 8-3 I am the hostage to his own affliction. 84 I am short in shame. 85 I am long in suffering. 86 By the right of him whom thou hast distinguished among thy creation, and by him whom thou hast chosen for thyself, by the right of him whom thou hast selected from among thy creatures, and by him whom thou hast picked for thy task, by the right of him the obeying of whom thou hast joined to obeying thee, and by him the disobeying of whom thou hast made like disobeying thee, and by the right of him whose friendship thou hast bound to thy friendship, and by him whose enmity thou hast linked to thine enmity. Shield me in this day of mine, by that through which thou shieldest him who prays fervently to thee while disavowing, and him who seeks refuge in thy forgiveness while repenting. 87 Attend to me with that through which thou attendest to the people of obedience toward thee, proximity to thee, in rank with thee. 88 Single me out, as thou singlest him out who fulfills thy covenant, fatigues himself for thy sake alone, and exerts himself in thy good pleasure. 89 Take me not to task for my neglect, in respect to thee, my transgressing the limit in thy bounds, and stepping outside thy ordinances. 90 Draw me not on little by granting me a respite. 33 Like the drawing on little by little of him who withholds from me the good he has. by not sharing with thee and letting favor down upon me. 91 Arouse me from the sleep of the heedless, the slumber of the prodigal, and the dozing of the forsaken. 92 Take my heart to that in which thou hast employed the devout, enthralled the worshippers, and rescued the remiss. 93 Give me refuge from that which will keep me far from thee. Come between me and my share from thee, and bar me from that which I strive for in thee. 94 Make easy for me the road of good deeds toward thee, racing to them from where thou hast commanded, and coveting them as thou desirest. 95 Efface me not along with those whom thou effacest, for thinking lightly of what thou hast promised. 96 Destroy me not with those whom thou destroyest, for exposing themselves to thy hate. 97 Annihilate me not among those whom thou annihilatest, for deviating from thy roads. 98 Deliver me from the floods of trial, save me from the gullets of affliction, and grant me sanctuary from being seized by respite. 34. 99 Come between me and the enemy who misguides me, the caprice which ruins me, and the failing which overcomes me. 100 Turn not away from me, with the turning away in wrath, from one with whom thou art not pleased. 101 Let me not lose heart in expecting from thee, lest I be overcome by despair of thy mercy. 102 Grant me not that which I cannot endure, lest thou weighest me down with the surplus of thy love which thou loadest upon me. 103 Send me not from thy hand the sending of him who possesses no good, toward whom thou hast no need, and who turns not back to thee. 104 Cast me not with the casting of him who has fallen from the eye of thy regard, and been wrapped in degradation from thee. Rather take my hand and save me from the falling of the stumblers, the disquiet of the deviators, the slip of those deluded, and the plight of the perishers. 105 Release me from that with which thou hast afflicted the ranks of thy servants and handmaids, and make me reach the utmost degrees of him about whom thou art concerned, towards whom thou showest favor, and with whom thou art pleased, so that thou lettest him live as one praiseworthy, and talkest him to thee as one felicitous. 106 Collar me with the collar of abstaining from that which makes good deeds fail, and takes away blessings. 107 Impart to my heart restraint before ugly works of evil, and disgraceful misdeeds. 108 Divert me not by that which I cannot reach except through thee, from doing that which alone makes thee pleased with me. 35. 109 Root out from my heart the love of this vile world, which keeps from everything which is with thee, bars from seeking the mediation to thee. 36. And distracts from striving for nearness to thee. 110 Embellish for me solitude, in prayer whispered to thee by night and by day. 111 Give me a preservation which will bring me close to dread of thee, cut me off from committing things made unlawful by thee, and spare me from captivation by dreadful sins. 112 Give me purification from the defilement of disobedience, take away from me the filth of offenses, dress me in the dress of thy well-being, cloak me in the cloak of thy release, wrap me in thy ample favors, and clothe me in thy bounty and thy graciousness. 113 Strengthen me with thy giving success, and thy pointing the right way, help me toward righteous intention, pleasing words, and approved works, and entrust me not to my force and my strength, in place of thy force and thy strength. 114 Degrade me not on the day thou raisest me up to meet thee. Disgrace me not before thy friends, make me not forget remembering thee, take not away from me thanking thee, but enjoin it upon me in states of inattention, when the ignorant are heedless of thy boons, and inspire me to laud what thou hast done for me, and confess to what thou hast conferred upon me. 115 Place my beseeching thee above the beseeching of the beseechers, and my praise of thee above the praise of the praisers. 116 Abandon me not with my neediness for thee, destroy me not for what I have done for thee. 37. And slap not my brow with that with which thou slappest the brow of those who contend with thee, for I am submitted to thee. I know that the argument is thine, that thou art closest to bounty, most accustomed to beneficence, worthy of reverent fear, and worthy of forgiveness. 38. That thou art closer to pardoning than to punishing, and that thou art nearer to covering over than to making notorious. 117 Let me live an agreeable life, that will tie together what I want, and reach what I love, while I not bring what thou dislikest, and not commit what thou hast prohibited, and make me die the death of him whose light runs before him and on his right hand. 39. 118 Abase me before thyself, and exalt me before thy creatures. Lower me when I am alone with thee, and raise me among thy servants. Free me from need for him who has no need of me, and increase me in neediness and poverty toward thee. 119 Give me refuge from the gloating of enemies, the arrival of affliction, lowliness and suffering. Shield me in what thou seest from me, the shielding of him who would have power over violence. Had he no clemency, and would cease from misdeeds, had he no lack of haste. 120 When thou desirest for a people a trial or an evil, deliver me from it, for I seek thy shelter, and since thou hast not stood me in the station of disgrace in this world of thine, stand me not in such a station in the next world of thine. 121 Couple for me the beginnings of thy kindnesses with their ends, and the ancient of thy benefits with the freshly risen. Prolong not my term with a prolonging, through which my heart will harden. 40. Strike me not with a striking, that will take away my radiance. 41. Visit me not with a meanness that will diminish my worth, or a deficiency that will keep my rank unknown. 122 Frighten me not with a fright by which I will despair, or a terror through which I will dread, but make me stand in awe of thy threat. Take precautions against thy leaving no excuses. 42 And thy warning, and tremble at the recitation of thy verses. 123 Fill my night with life by keeping me awake therein for worshipping thee. Solitude with vigil for thee. Exclusive devotion to reliance upon thee. Setting my needs before thee, and imploring that thou wilt set my neck free from the fire, and grant me sanctuary from thy chastisement, within which its inhabitants dwell. 124 Leave me not blindly wandering in my insolence. 43. Or inattentive in my perplexity for a time. 44. Make me not an admonition to him who takes admonishment, a punishment exemplary for him who takes heed, a trial for him who observes. Devise not against me along with those against whom thou devisest. Replace me not with another. Change not my name. 45. Transform not my body. 46. Appoint me not a mockery for thy creatures, a laughing stock for thyself, a follower of anything but thy good pleasure, a menial servant for anything but avenging thee. 125 Let me find the coolness of thy pardon, and the sweetness of thy mercy, thy repose, thy ease, and the garden of thy bliss. 47. Let me taste, through some of thy boundless plenty, the flavor of being free for what thou lovest, and striving in what brings about proximity with thee and to thee, and give me a gift from among thy gifts. 126 Make my commerce profitable. 48. And my return without loss. 49. Fill me with fear of thy station, make me yearn for the meeting with thee, and allow me to repent with an unswerving repentance, along with which thou lettest no sins remain, small or large, and leavest no wrongs, open or secret. 127 Root out rancor toward the faithful from my breast. 50. Bend my heart toward the humble, be toward me as thou art toward the righteous. Adorn me with the adornment of the God-fearing. Appoint for me a goodly report. 51 Among those yet to come, and a growing remembrance among the later folk, and take me to the plain of those who came first. 52. 128 Complete the lavishness of thy favor upon me. Clothe me in its repeated generosities. Fill my hand with thy benefits. Drive thy generous gifts to me. Make me the neighbor of the best of thy friends, in the gardens which thou hast adorned for thy chosen. Enwrap me in thy noble presence, in the stations prepared for thy beloveds. 129 Appoint for me a resting place with thee, where I may seek haven in serenity, and a resort to which I may revert, and rest my eyes. Weigh not against me my dreadful misdeeds. Destroy me not on the day the secrets are tried. 53. Eliminate from me every doubt and uncertainty. Appoint for me a way in the truth from every mercy. Make plentiful for me the portions of gifts from thy granting of awards, and fill out for me the shares of beneficence from thy bestowal of bounty. 130 Make my heart trust in what is with thee, and my concern free for what is thine. Employ me in that in which thou employest thy pure friends. Drench my heart with thy obedience when intellects are distracted, and combine within me independence, continence, ease, release, health, plenty, tranquility, and well-being. 131 Make not fail my good deeds, through my disobedience that stains them, or my private times of worship, through the instigations of thy trial. Safeguard my face from asking, from anyone in the world. 17. Allusion to 18. 109. Say, if the sea were ink for the words of my Lord, the sea would be spent before the words of my Lord are spent. Single quote. 18. Reference to 33. 33. Folk of the house, God only desires to put away from you uncleanness and to purify you. 19. Muslims hold that mediation will be given to the Prophet. See note 172, while Shiite tradition adds that it will also belong to the Imams. Cf. the chapter in Majlisi's Bahar al-Anwar, the mediation and the station of the Prophet and the folk of his house which will become manifest at the resurrection. 7, 326-40. Among relevant sayings quoted in both Shiite and Sunni sources is that of Ali. In the garden there are 2 pearls within the throne, one of them white and the other yellow. In each there are 70,000 rooms whose gates and cups come from a single root. The white is the mediation which belongs to Muhammad and his household, while the yellow belongs to Abraham and his household. Commentary on 5. 35. Al-Tabarsi, Majma, al-Bayan. Maybudi, Kashif al-Asrar. 20. Cf. Supplication 1.4. 21. The friend, or wali is the imam, who, in keeping with the various meanings of the root, is friend of God, guardian of the people under his care, and authority in all matters of religious teaching. His function, known as wilaya or walaya and derived from the same Arabic root, is discussed in most books on Shi'ism. In the present text the word is mentioned, not always in the technical sense, in Supplications 5 title 8.3, 20.7, 22, 26.1, 47.64, and 77.2. 22. Allusion to 17, 80, and say 0 Muhammad, grant me authority from thee to help me. 23. Cf. 48. 1. Surely we have given thee a manifest opening. 24. Cf. Moses' supplication in 20. 31. Appoint for me of my folk a familiar, Aaron, my brother, by him brace up my back. 25. Like the previous clause, this is an allusion to the story of Moses and Aaron in the Quran, and more specifically, to God's words to Moses, we shall strengthen thy arm by means of thy brother. 28. 35. 26. Cf. 37. 173. Our troops, they are the victors. 27. Wilaya, which may be translated as friendship, authority, guardianship, rule, is the office or function of the friend, or wali mentioned above in note 219. 28. 2. 218. 29. Cf. 10. 25. And God summons to the abode of peace. Cf. Also 6. 127. 30. As indicated in note 77, caprice denotes any desire opposed to the divine guidance. 31. This may be an allusion to 17. 16. 32. Allusion to 4. 108. They hide themselves from men but hide themselves not from God. 33. Allusion to 7. 182. We will draw them on little by little from whence they know not, and I grant them respite, surely my guile is firm. Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq says, when God desires good for a servant who commits a sin, he causes the sin to be followed by a punishment so that he remembers to ask forgiveness. But when he desires evil for a servant who commits a sin, he causes the sin to be followed by a favor so that he forgets to ask forgiveness and persists in the sin. This is indicated by God's words, we draw them on little by little from whence they know not. Saeed Ali Khan. 34. Cf. Above, 47.90. 35. In other words, do not allow me to become diverted from the worship and obedience which please thee by my seeking after the things of this world, which come only through thee. 36. Allusion to 5. 35. O you who have faith, fear God and seek the mediation to him. Cf. Note 172. 37. The commentator suggests that this is an allusion to the principle enunciated in 18. 103-104. Say, shall I tell you who will be the greatest losers in their works? Those whose striving goes astray in the present life while they think that they are working good deeds. 38. 75. 56. 39. Reference to 66. 8. Upon the day when God will not degrade the prophet and those who believe with him their light, running before them and on their right hands. 40. Allusion to 19. 75. Say, whoever is in error, let the All-Merciful prolong his term for him. 41. Cf. Above, 47.60, where mention is made of the radiance of the Imam, that thou associatest us with the most righteous of thy faithful servants, who supplicate thee today, O Lord of the worlds, and that thou forgivest us and them. Surely thou art powerful over everything. 2. For O God, toward thee I aim with my need, and before thee I set my poverty, my neediness, my misery. For I have more trust in thy forgiveness and thy mercy than in my own works. Thy forgiveness and thy mercy are vaster than my sins. So bless Muhammad and the household of Muhammad, and attend to the accomplishment of every need of mine through thy power over it, its easiness for thee, my poverty toward thee, and thy freedom from need for me. I will come upon no good whatsoever unless through thee, no one other than thou will turn any evil away from me. And I have hope in none but thee for my affair, in the next world and in this world. 5. O God, if anyone has ever arranged, made ready, prepared, and drawn himself up, to be received by a creature, in hope of his support and awards, and seeking to attain him and his prize, then today toward thee, my Master, is my arrangement, my making ready, my preparation, and my drawing up, in hope of thy pardon and support, and in seeking to attain to thee and thy prize. 6. O God, so bless Muhammad and the household of Muhammad, and disappoint not my hope in that today, O he who is not troubled by those who ask, and diminished by those who attain their desire. I come not before thee trusting in a righteous work I have sent ahead, nor in the intercession of any creature in whom I have hope, except the intercession of Muhammad, and the folk of his house. Upon him and upon them be thy peace. 7. I come to thee admitting sin and evildoing toward myself. I come to thee hoping for thy abounding pardon through which thou hast pardoned the offenders, while their long persistence in dreadful sin did not prevent thee from returning toward them with mercy and forgiveness. 8. O he whose mercy is wide, and whose pardon is abounding, O Almighty, O Almighty, O All-Generous, O All-Generous, bless Muhammad and the household of Muhammad. Return toward me through thy mercy, be tender toward me through thy bounty, and spread out thy forgiveness upon me. 9. O God, this station belongs to thy vicegerents, thy chosen, while the places of thy trusted ones, in the elevated degree which thou hast singled out for them, have been forcibly stripped. 3. But thou art the ordainer of that thy command is not overcome. The inevitable in thy governing is not overstepped. However thou willest and whenever thou willest, in that which thou knowest best, thou art not accused for thy creation or thy will. Then thy selected friends, thy vicegerents, were overcome, vanquished, forcibly stripped. They see thy decree replaced, thy book discarded, thy obligations distorted from the aims of thy laws, and the sunnah of thy prophet abandoned. 10. O God, curse their enemies among those of old and the later folk, and all those pleased with their acts, and their adherents and followers. 11. O God, bless Muhammad and the household of Muhammad. Surely thou art all laudable, all glorious, like thy blessing, benedictions, and salutations upon thy chosen Abraham and the people of Abraham, and hasten for them relief, ease, help, strengthening, and confirmation. 12. O God, and make me one of the people who profess thy unity, have faith in thee, and attest to thy messenger, and the Imams toward whom thou hast enjoined obedience, and one of those through whom and at whose hands this takes place. 4. Amen, Lord of the worlds. 13. O God, nothing repels thy wrath but thy clemency. Nothing repels thy displeasure but thy pardon. Nothing grants sanctuary from thy punishment but thy mercy. And nothing will deliver me from thee except pleading to thee before thee. 5. So bless Muhammad and the household of Muhammad, and give us on thy part, my God, relief by means of the power through which thou bringest the dead servants to life and revivest the dead lands. 6. 14. Destroy me not through gloom, my God, before thou respondest to me, and givest me the knowledge of thy response to my supplication. Let me taste the flavor of well-being to the end of my term. And let not my enemy gloat over me. Place not my neck in his power, and give him not authority over me. 15 My God, if thou raisest me up, who is there to push me down? If thou pushest me down, who is there to raise me up? If thou honorest me, who is there to humiliate me? If thou humiliatest me, who is there to honor me? If thou chastisest me, who is there to have mercy upon me? If thou destroyest me, who is there to stand up for thy servant against thee, or ask thee about his affair? But I know that there is no wrong in thy decree, and no hurry in thy vengeance. He alone hurries who fears to miss, and only the weak needs to wrong. But thou art exalted, my God, high indeed above all that. 16 O God, bless Muhammad and the household of Muhammad. Make me not the target of affliction, nor the object of thy vengeance. Respite me, comfort me, release me from my stumble, and afflict me not with an affliction in the wake of an affliction. For thou hast seen my frailty, the paucity of my stratagems, and my pleading to thee. 17 I seek refuge in thee today, my God, from thy wrath. So bless Muhammad and his household, and give me refuge. 18 I seek sanctuary in thee today from thy displeasure. So bless Muhammad and his household, and give me sanctuary. 19 I ask thee security from thy chastisement. So bless Muhammad and his household, and give me security. 20 I seek guidance from thee. So bless Muhammad and his household, and guide me. 21 I seek help from thee. So bless Muhammad and his household, and help me. 22 I ask thee for mercy. So bless Muhammad and his household, and have mercy upon me. 23 I seek sufficiency from thee. So bless Muhammad and his household, and suffice me. 24 I seek provision from thee. So bless Muhammad and his household, and provide for me. 25 I seek assistance from thee. So bless Muhammad and his household, and assist me. 26 I pray forgiveness for my past sins. So bless Muhammad and his household, and forgive me. 27 I ask thee to preserve me from sin. So bless Muhammad and his household, and preserve me, for I will not return to anything thou dislikest from me, if thou willest that. 28 My Lord, O all-loving, O all-kind, O possessor of majesty and munificence, bless Muhammad and his household, and grant me everything that I ask from thee, seek from thee, and beseech from thee. Will it, ordain it, decree it, and accomplish it. Give me good in that of it which thou decreest. Bless me in that. Be gratuitously